Good morning, everybody. I'm Vinny Sapienza, the Acting Commissioner of New York City DEP, and welcome you all here today to this great Bluebelt that so many of you were involved in. As I was walking around, just the faces of the folks who have worked on this, both for DDC and DEP, some of our contractors. Dana Gum, who I gotta recognize, who's really been the champion of Bluebelts all throughout New York City. So I want to say first thank you to them. And we really want to have this gathering really, not only to cut a ribbon, but to celebrate this largest ever Bluebelt expansion on Staten Island. It's about $50 million worth of work that was done, funded by DEP, but most of the work done by DDC, and another terrific project that they've delivered to us. So DEP first pioneered the use of Bluebelt systems about 20 years ago, and they've proven effective really in a lot of locations in Staten Island to improve both the environment and quality of life for the residents. So Bluebelts combine traditional storm sewers, which remove street flooding, remove water off the streets, with natural drainage corridors such as streams and ponds. And over the last 2 decades, we've been building these in coordination again with DDC, and we've installed many new sewers, hundreds of catch basins, new water mains, and other than drainage, one of the big things that we've done in the area is put in new sanitary sewers. So about 4 miles of new sanitary sewers were also installed, which allowed about 600 homes to get off their old septic systems and onto city sewers, and that just relieves a lot of maintenance headaches for a lot of homeowners, and we know folks are happy with that too. So construction of this 3.2 acre Bluebelt included plantings, as you can see, of hundreds of trees and shrubs and thousands of plants and wildflowers. You'll see some of the fencing that's still up here, and that's just to protect some of the newer plantings from birds getting in and eating them. Once those plants get established, the fences will come off and it'll be opened to the public. So the wetlands that you see here, these constructed wetlands, will hold stormwater for a period of time after a heavy rain event and naturally filter it. And then it will drain slowly through existing streams into Raritan Bay. By harnessing nature and capturing and treating the stormwater at the source, we can reduce urban flooding in a sustainable and cost-effective manner, while also nurturing a vibrant ecosystems. Bluebelts also preserve and enhance open spaces and attract diverse wildlife. You'll see a lot of different birds here. We have turtles and frogs, so it's really a thriving ecosystem. We also have plans for even more sewers and Bluebelts on Staten Island. That includes the South Shore, with additional projects breaking ground this year, and the first Mid-Island Bluebelt, where we'll begin Phase 2 later in 2017. Again, I'd like to recognize the staff here. I mentioned Dana, but there's so many others who have worked really diligently, not only on this project, but other Bluebelts, and they all deserve congratulations. But I specifically want to call out from the DEP staff, our Deputy Commissioner for Water and Sewer Operations, Tassos Georgelis, and his team, Janine McColgan, Charles Olson, Rob Brauman, Jim Rossi, and Dean Cavallero. Thanks very much. And Angela here as well, so thank you all. And so now I'd like to turn it over to our partner agency, DDC, and Acting Commissioner Anna Barrio. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinny. It's so wonderful to be here today with you as our longtime partner, partner of 21 years. DEP is a terrific partner. We enjoy working with you. We look forward to working with you for many more years to come. I would also like to acknowledge representatives from the elected officials office to my left. Thank you for joining us today. DDC teams up with DEP, as Vinny mentioned, on numerous Bluebelt projects, and this is, I believe, this is the largest and most innovative that we have taken on. As Vinny mentioned, you're looking here at the terminus of 3 storm sewer systems that help alleviate flooding in the upstream neighborhoods, covering a drainage area of 191 acres. But right here is where it all begins. You can really see that this is the capstone of the entire Sweet Brook Bluebelt system, a product of almost 2 decades of work and investment for the people of Staten Island. That's the glamorous part, but as Vinny was saying, this $40+ million project that I have to say came in under budget and on time, and we're very pleased about that. We saved the city quite a few millions of dollars, and that's through the efforts, of course, of DDC staff and partnership with DEP. We're very appreciative for that. As Vinny mentioned, it's going to remove 600 homes from the septic systems and connect them for the first time to the municipal system, and as well as planting 700 trees and thousands of plants and many, many more. I would like to thank Mayor de Blasio for his support, as well as Borough President Otto for his support, and he's a great champion for Staten Island, especially for the people of Staten Island. He's a great voice for all of you. But I would also like to acknowledge the team of DDC. Vinny, I have a few more names than you do, and they're all here, so I cannot go without saying their names. Eric McFarland, Deputy Commissioner of Infrastructure, Gurdeep Siani, our Associate Commissioner, Purnima Daria, Clara Siegel, Bob Castelli, Bhavisha Doshi, Chayal Patel, Valentin Salita, Edgar Leranza, Boris Mogilevich. These are all from design. Venue, but his name is Narayanan Venugopalan. Hervé Carey, Serge Francisque, Nitin Patel, Landry Philimi, Indra Godwani, Shah Jeromi, newly appointed Associate Commissioner. Shakil Ahmed, Assistant Commissioner, newly appointed as of Monday to Staten Island, just to give Staten Island that much more attention. We're very happy about that. Adam Olweiss, our Borough Director. Arvind Patel, Deputy Director. Munza Shaheen, the engineer in charge. And finally, of course, Dana Gum and Sophia Jafar, our Project Executive and Senior Project Executive. The contractor, DeFazio, thank you so much for your work. The Borough Outreach Coordinator, Lisa Robbins, who worked day in, day out with the community, as well as the Community Construction Liaison, Carrie Ager from Arcadis. I would like to say that on behalf of everyone at DDC, we were very pleased to be part of this team. And this project received an Envision Award for Environmental Sustainability from the Institute for Sustainable Infrastructure. And this is the first New York City project to receive such an award, and we're very proud of that. Thank you very much, and enjoy the visit here.
Okay, so next up is Deputy Borough President Ed Burke.
Hello, everybody. This is one of the greatest headlines I've ever seen. This is a proud day, the Bluebelt's biggest expansion. And for those of us who've been cheering this on, Borough President Giamato at the head of the list, cheering on the Bluebelt as a great project. This is a great accomplishment. On time and under budget, holy mackerel. So anyway, I wore a blue tie and a blue shirt for the Bluebelt today. You know, as has been said, Bluebelts make a lot of sense and they save a lot of sense. It's best to go back to nature sometimes on these engineering projects, and that's what the Bluebelt is. It follows the natural creek beds and it conveys water that way. So, you know, Borough President Otto has always said this is a great way to prevent flooding. It's a great way to preserve natural areas. It's a great way to protect the quality of life in a neighborhood. So, you know, we want to raise the volume, I think, a little bit on the Bluebelt. It's one issue for which there's no detractors. Everybody supports it. And that's rare. I often say that if government paved the streets of Staten Island in gold, somebody would complain that the glare hurts their eyes. So it's like no matter what you do, there's going to be a detractor, but not the Bluebelt, because it makes so much good sense, and it's good government, and it's good engineering. One thing I want to suggest, though, we call these water bodies BMPs. It sounds like a train station, doesn't it? I'm going to take the BMP to Midtown. So I think we're going to start calling them ponds. That's what I like better. And maybe we'll even have the kids of Staten Island help us name them, because there's now dozens and dozens of these beautiful water bodies. The borough president often remarks, the Bluebelt, it's slow and steady. This great work is being done almost behind the scenes until they're done and Staten Islanders get introduced to them. And that's what we want to see more of, a natural way to solve some of our biggest problems on Staten Island. So to the DDC and the DEP, to Councilman Burley's office, the borough president's team working on this. It's a great day to celebrate. And I think I'll leave you with this. I had an intern recently who came to me and said, I saw you in one of my classes today. You did? Yes, there was a documentary on the Bluebelt and you were interviewed. They're teaching the Bluebelt as part of the curriculum at the College of Staten Island about engineering and good government. So I think that's a great testament to the whole team that's worked on this. So thank you. Let's do more great Bluebelts. Another notch in the Bluebelt today.
3, 2, 1. Congratulations.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, I'm Dana Gum from many years at DEP, now at DDC. I first came to this site about 27 years ago, and it was a big hole in the ground, the old style stormwater detention pond, a lot of phragmites, and it was just littered with all of these burned out hulks of vehicles. And so one of the first things we did is when we took control of this property, when DEP took jurisdiction for it, was we started to put boulders around the perimeter and put fences and gates up to try to prevent these cars from coming in. So it was a bad site. There was a lot of difficulties with it. So I'll turn it over to Rob, who's really a unique guy in that he's an ecologist and a construction expert at the same time. And he's really the man who was involved in all the details of the construction. So Rob, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you. We're currently sitting at the top of the Sweet Brook watershed, and this site did take stormwater, and we added a considerable amount more. If you look at this, just the size of the one pipe behind us, think of that flowing full, and it does in a big storm. We have 3 of those head walls in this site, so a lot of water. This site was built to protect everything downstream of here. So all that water that used to go down and really hammer the low-laying areas of Sweet Brook, this is now going to hold that water. It's designed to hold that water for about 24 hours, give or take, based on the size of the storm. And that big structure behind us is sized to do that. And in that 24-hour time, all the plants behind us have an opportunity to take up the parts of the water we don't like the excessive nitrogen and phosphorus. Something like 30% of lawn fertilizer flows off your lawn in the first rainfall after you apply it. If you were to go to the beach on Staten Island now, all the beach, the whole perimeter is green and kind of smelly, and that's hyper-eutrophication. That's all that fertilizer and parts of the water that we're trying to clean up. So during that 24-hour period, we use all these plants behind us to take that up and clean it naturally. So it's a really nice example of natural water treatment. So that's our number one community question, is mosquitoes. The vast majority of our sites are designed with base flow and have base flow, and that means there's a constant small amount of running water. And as most people know, mosquitoes prefer stagnant water. So they don't prefer this type of system that much. Also, if you design it in a natural way, with a lot of natural plants, you'll get all the critters that eat mosquitoes. And as we stood there earlier, I was watching all the dragonflies fly around. Dragonflies used to be called mosquito hawks because they eat a ton of mosquitoes. So if you build it, they will come. If you do a good job with the planting design, you'll have a good ecosystem. Say compared to a puddle or a tire full of water. It's not what we have here. Also, every rain event flushes this system out. So if there are mosquito breeding, it gets that flushing.
Yeah, we have this cascade system here to bring the water level from up above down below. And I thought maybe Dahlia, if you want to say a little bit about the cascade.
The idea behind this was that when we have a decent amount of grade change from the street down to where the permanent pool is, you don't want the water to be just rushing down. And so the idea is to have it step down in a sustainable manner so that you're not getting high velocities that are going to create scour.
Dean, could you quickly tell us a little bit about the stonework?
The stonework details were copied from historic Richmond Town's details, and we were taught how to detail stone by the head of restoration there at the time, Bill McMillan. And basically, it's using quartzitic sandstone or Pennsylvania colonial fieldstone. That's the common name, which is the stone you'd find here that farmers on Staten Island would build stone walls with, and we just copied it.
We had enough topographical relief in this site where we could do multiple levels of storage and treatment. So here we're a little higher up. We're able to take the storm system, the new storm system from this neighborhood, which outlets at this head wall, and store it here first before it enters the main system. So we give it even more opportunity to settle out the suspended solids, you know, all the dirt and the sand in the winter, and all those plants you see out there we installed time to take up all that nitrogen and phosphorus. So we were able to do that kind of twice. Most sites it's a one-time shot.
The highlight here is the riser box, which is a full spectrum. It's called a full spectrum detention system, where there's a much wider range of storms that are detained by this riser box than in just the simple weir structure that you see in the middle of this facility, where that weir structure just is detaining one storm. You know, there's a low flow orifice in the weir which sets the permanent pool, and once it starts raining, the rainfall can't go through that low flow orifice, so the water starts backing up behind the weir and then spills over. And that water that's backing up is the detention, is the storage volume that you're spreading out over time rather than having a slug of water go down the stream. It's spreading the flow out. So that only is handling one storm, while this full spectrum detention system here that's in the riser box is handling a much wider range of storms, and you're getting much better detention. But I wanted Jim to say something about the maintenance, which is the field management part of this. So, Jim, please.
There's vegetative management that has to occur. We do that with available expertise and also contracts. I mean, sometimes there are trees that fall across the road. They need to be cut up and taken away, or there are trees next to properties that are dangerous, and we deem them or we decide that they're dangerous, and then we'll have our contractor come and remove it. That's all sort of like maintaining a park. I mean, there are a lot of frontages outside that have to be mowed and weed whacked so that they look good, because when they don't look good, then nobody cares about them. And we have a lot of dumping and other issues. The internal structures are actually pretty simple to maintain. What we would do in a typical 4-bay like this, use a vector truck. Basically, it's a big wet vac to suck out all of the sediment. And it's a very simple system, and it works.
So that's the end of the tour. Thanks so much for your interest in the Bluebelt.